Nations has released a new report that says thousands of children have been recruited, injured, and killed while with armed groups over the past year.
Tonight in America, tens of thousands of children are living in a war zone.
There has been a mass shooting in Chicago's Back of the Yards neighborhood tonight.
25 million more people living in poverty.
We'll be living on less than $1.25 a day.
Increased poverty and inequality across the continent, not just now, but for years to come.
Even here in the United States, more than 16 million children live in poverty. That's more than the populations of some countries.
Across the country, 38 states had increases in poverty in children.
Legal trade in people for sex, labor, and domestic slavery.
You get a small boy and a small girl, you sell them many times a day.
It's an epidemic that's happening around the world. It happens in just about every country.
The FBI ranks Atlanta, Georgia as one of the top cities with the highest incidence of child prostitution.
Sex trafficking industry in the U.S. is between 12 and 14 years old.
This is more common than you might think, right here in our own backyard.
I would sell my body just to get the next bag of crack. I couldn't keep an apartment. Everywhere I moved, I would smoke up the rent money. Me and my kids would have to move again. I done been to every shelter in Chicago.
I grew up in a gang.
It was like protect yourself or die.
Poverty is suffocating because it just takes everything out of you. You don't know where you're going to eat. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills. You just don't know how to cope with life.
They didn't choose to be born into a family that lives in the Robert Taylor Projects.
At a very young age, whenever we heard gunshots, run into the hall and hit the floor.
Prostitutes that I used to bring into my car and just talk with them. They're in the church.
I went to the altar, gave my life to Christ, and in 2002, she put me in a discipleship class.
We have the ability with the body of Christ, not to rehabilitate somebody, but to give them the abilities.
It's amazing what God can do when we're just available.
Cities across this nation are a mission field that we as the church are called to reach.